Hello and welcome to Scott's Garage. This is day 2 of the step, what is it called? The mini step? Let's see. Of the shaker step stool project that I got from Popular Mechanics. And we were having a good time with this yesterday. We made a lot of progress on it. And just to recap, the steps are made out of a 1-inch thick oak stair tread. And then in the plan here, they have the body made out of pine. We made it out of poplar. We glued it up yesterday. And so today, what we're going to do is take off the clamps, do some sanding, maybe a couple other things to it, and add a coat of paint. And I did go in the shed, and I found some great paint here. It's a Behr premium paint and primer in one. It's a gray. I don't know what I was using it for, but it's a really good quality paint, and it feels like I have plenty inside here, and it'll make a great use of our project. I know I was talking about adding some color to it, but I don't know. I think a gray with the wood. My other option is I had sort of a reddish brown, and I thought reddish brown here and the stair treads natural didn't really seem to look really good. But if I had this all part was gray and then the stair treads were natural, I thought that could look really good. I think what I'm going to do is paint this separately and finish the stair treads separately, and then the very last step is to put them all together. So let's get moving on this. I'm going to be sanding this with the palm sander. And the palm sander tends to round things over. And that's fine. I kind of want to break some of these edges, but I don't want to break these edges because I want the stair treads to sit nice and flat right on here. So this is a perfect job for the sanding block. You can keep things nice and flat. Boy, this poplar sand's really nice. Kind of make sure that, because it's going to be good if that stair tread sits nice and flat along this whole surface. I know you see a lot of woodworking shows and they use the random orbital, the round ones. And those are pretty good. I think those are great. But I really just like this, my old quarter sheet sander. You do have to be careful of getting some swirls if you get something in your sandpaper. So you have to keep your sandpaper nice and clean and ready to go. But for me, this really allows me to sit flat on something and get into corners where I don't think those round pads can really get into very well. And I just find this to be a very good tool to be able to manipulate easily when I'm sanding something. I put a piece of 150 sandpaper on there. We really don't need to take a lot of material off, so 150 is pretty fine. We just need to kind of get it ready for paint, maybe relieve some of the edges. Then you'll notice that I have my table here. This is actually my table saw that I brought out. It's great, a good size, good height. It's on wheels, and I can put the brakes. And then I just put an old bath towel down here, just so when I put this on its side, I'm not going to damage anything. So it really works double duty for a lot of things. So you don't need expensive tables and all that kind of stuff. So let's get sanding. All right. That's looking pretty good. That's looking pretty good. Let's do let's give these a little bit of love. What I like to do is put on some feet. I have these little cool feet. What you do is you drill a hole in there, and then this piece hammers in, and then this piece screws in, so you can adjust it. And I rounded these over so it'd be nice on the floor, but if it's wooden floor, you can still scratch it. And so I think this would be cool to put these on. So I'm going to measure this so I can make sure that I get the right size drill. So 0.31, 0.31, whatever the heck that is. It's going to go kind of like right there. I think that's going to fit perfectly. So let me go through and find the center of all of these. One of the quick ways you can do, this is 750, is just put your calipers on 375, and then you can strike a pose. I can double check, make sure, and I'm right there. The easy way to do that. All right, does that make sense? And then if I do, this is 225, so what's that, 125? Kind of about there. And if I just did this, make sure so you just make sure that, you're, do the other side, make sure that you're right in the middle. And then no measuring, no muss, no fuss. Now I have a crosshair. Let me show you that. Now I have a crosshair of the center of that foot that I can drill my 0.31 hole. Okay, so I have a 5/16 drill. What's that, 312, I think? And then we're going to put that right in there. And I like these bits. What are they, Forstner bits or whatever? I forget what they're called. Brad point bit, yeah. Brad point bit, because what I can do is I can set this little point right on my crosshairs. Just like shooting a gun, and bam. But I need to know how deep to go. So let me show you how to do that. Okay, so I only want to drill about that deep, up and down, but the deepest that would ever be with these on there is that deep. So easiest way to do it is just a little piece of tape, line it up, and that's how deep I'm going to go. As we all know, we never want to go too deep. All right, so let's give that a try. All right, so the key to this is to get your drill to go straight down. So I can put that right in the center, and then I don't want it like this or this or this. So straight up and down. Then I also want to make it straight this way too. That's pretty good. It's not exactly in the center, but that'll work. And then I can go ahead and put these in now, because I'm not really going to paint this part of it. So just I got that. And then just to make sure that I have it all the way right depth. Hey, that's pretty good. I'm going to leave these feet off, and we'll go ahead and drill the rest of these holes. All right. Cool. So that part's done. All right. So I identified my work pieces. This is 1B, so this is the bottom. That's the first step. So that's going to go under here. And then this is 2B, the second step. Before I clamp it, I'm just going to measure the sides of this and make sure that it's kind of even. I just made it even with the back, and then just even on each side. What I want to do is be able to draw the outline of it. So this is, I don't know what, 7/8 or something? That's more than an inch. So what, I'm not sure what the plan is. What, like an inch? Can't remember. So let's put this at an inch. And that's right at an inch. Wow, that's nice. That's nice. So 1 inch, 1 inch. Wow, that's sweet. Okay. And then we'll just draw a line all the way around here. And then we're going to use some bigger biscuits. And I think we'll do 1 biscuit on each end and then 2 in the front. So if I just draw a line, here, let me show you a little bit better what I'm talking about. Yeah, you can see that pretty well. So I'm just going to kind of guess where the center is and just draw a line. And then guess where I want to put this one. And then kind of guess where I want to put this one. So that gives me my location to line it up for the biscuit joiner. And my location for the center of each biscuit. Okay, make sense? So I'm going to use big biscuits here because this can definitely take it down here. You want to make sure of your depth. That gives me plenty of clearance, and of course I've got plenty to go up here. So now I have everything I need to cut my biscuits right here. So let's go get the biscuit joiner and get that thing going. So these are size 20. So I'm going to change this to 20. That changes the depth. Then what I want to do is I don't want to go like cut it here and then cut it here. Okay, you have to keep inside the whole way. So I just line it up with this line. So that's going to put the blade in the center of a 3/4 inch piece, which this is, on top of there, and then that line is going to line up with my line over there. Okay, so then we can switch this back to 90. And just a couple of strikes here, just like that. This thing is sure poofing out a lot. So you can see that's a lot of biscuits, and they're big biscuits. So this is really gonna strengthen this whole thing up. It's already really strong. When you have people stepping on it, you really wanna. Okay, now I can't cut it like this. This has got to go back here, and then we've got to do kind of cut it like this. right? Let's all right, let's see how that fits. So if you remember what we said, I'm going to do this, glue this on in the last step. And I could do some kind of a, screw it on or something like that. Put some cleats. But I think this is just a much more elegant solution to the whole deal. There we go. Little fiddling. But that's going to fit in there really nicely. Yeah. Oops. Yeah. Dang, that looks great. Let's take a look around. So if we look at the underside of this, we're going to glue it and screw it. All right. Let's do the same thing to the other side. All right. So we have 4 biscuits. And these biscuits are really inexpensive, so it's a pretty economical way to assemble furniture. And I've been doing it for years, and I've never had something break or come apart, ever. Oh yeah, nice and tight. Look at that looks great. And I don't think you saw me, but before I had to take off the top one, and it was like, you really, there's no glue. There's no glue holding it on, but it's still really tight. So once that glue hits these biscuits, they just swell up, and it fills all that gap, and then this thing is on there forever. Nice. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is finish these oak treads. I think I'm going to just use this Varathane stain and poly in one, brush it on. This is the same process that I did in the wall map frame project. So if you want to see in detail how to do that with this type of a finish, go visit the wall map frame project. I think it's episode 4, probably. But anyway, we're just going to tack these off. We're ready to go. So I'm going to start with the ends first. Okay, so we're going to do 2 coats of that, so I'll let that dry, and then I'll wash my brush, and then we'll get to painting. And I'm starting to think about my strategy for painting this. How do I want to do it? And I think if my experience with painting stuff gives me any words of wisdom, I think I paint the inside first and then do the outside. Because once you do the outside, then you're having to reach to the inside, and I'm going to get paint all over everything. So I think what I'm going to do is kind of start like maybe here on this inside thing, and then turn it and turn it and turn it till I do all the insides, and then put it up on its feet and do the outside, something like that.